Hey, Fire Fam. Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday to you. It's the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown, the safe space where we set oppression ablaze because we understand that a better tomorrow is necessary. And it is fucking urgent at this point. Shit is getting real out here, everybody. More realer by the day. By the day, we've got a great show in store for you today. Guys, first of all, I want to say what's up to all the Fire Fam in the chat, checking in and supporting us during our Winter Blaze Up fundraiser. Today is the last day, so if you got a couple coins you want to toss to your homie, we certainly appreciate it. And Lucretia has already got us started with a generous super chat. I appreciate that, Lucretia. I'm so very excited that you are here to join us in the live chat. Michelita is in the live chat. Latif is here. Louis Kang is in the building, as is my niece Alicia, my sis Shirley. Shirley, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. Who else? Quaker Socialist. Hello. Holly Horn. Greetings. Nat A. Hold on. Let me back up. Latif. You guys, Latif I'm sorry, Latif, to be putting all your business out in the street, but Latif re-upped for an annual membership on Patreon, and I can't thank you enough, Latif, and to everybody who has generously supported this platform and supported this channel. We little now, but we gonna be big one day, and that is all because of the Fire Fam. Here we go, y'all getting it started early. Come true. Who is that? Yes, thank you so much, Quaker Anarchist. We got have you evolved, Quaker Socialist to Quaker Anarchist, or we got a new member joining us today on the Fire Fam. Tyler Hackner, thank you, honey. Dawn, Afraid Not, I'm so happy to see you, of course. Courtney the Stallion, Courtney the SLP is in here holding shit down as only Courtney can. I'm so glad that you all are here, y'all. This is a very serious kind of program that we got going on today because we are seeing the voices and the podcast of our comrades on the left summarily being unplugged, right? They are just deleting niggas shit off the internet. And it's crazy because I hope everyone is paying very close attention. Like, there is no American exceptionalism. There is no, everybody has a freedom of speech. All political viewpoints are welcome in America. That's some bullshit. And, excuse me. And it's not some new bullshit. It's not some recent development of new bullshit. No, this is long been the case. And this is giving us big Red Scare, big McCarthyism vibes. Is it not? And I want us to take notice of who has been removed, where they have been removed from, and there's absolutely a common thread happening upon the people who are being censored by American corporate media. Okay, so as much as everybody, not y'all, not y'all, the rest of them fools out there in the world, as much as they like to wag the finger at outlets like Russia Today and Sputnik Radio, like those are state-sponsored agencies. Where? It's so bad. Okay, here's my question. How come they don't put on Twitter and other social media platforms, for example, for people who appear on Russia Today and related outlets, how come they don't put that state-sponsored media tag on people who report for the BBC, people who report for France 24, people who report for Deutsche Welle? Like, aren't those state-sponsored media organizations? Of course they are. Of course they are. But those stations represent that Western imperialism, right? Those outlets are part of the NATO axis, if you will. And those are the media apparatuses of the states that is down with the same shit that America is down with. Imperialism, right? Go drop bombs on people in order to get our economic interest advanced and to quell any sort of leftist political uprising or organization, right? So go away with your American exceptions. Like, that's it. That's finished. Like, cancel that. Anybody who in the year of our Lord 20 and 22 will still tell you that the United States of America is the greatest country on earth, automatically, everything that they say after that, discounted because they have rendered themselves not credible on a variety of levels, on a variety of levels. Oh, wait, we got some more. Wait, is that more money? You guys are so awesome. Listen, well, hold on. No. I'll tell you about the fundraising stuff later on in the joint, because this is important. We gotta get to this. Hey, OB, thank you so much, baby. Thank you, OB. Thank you. I love to see my Black Power Media stars in here as well. Love to see y'all in here as well. That's what I'm saying. We community out here. So thank you guys for your support. Thank you, OB. Love you so much. Let's go to the document, shall we? Because I want us to just be clear on who's been canceled out here, and I say canceled. Maybe cancel's overstating it, but who's been censored? That's not overstating it at all. Because guess what? I dare somebody try to cancel Jackie Lukman. You're gonna have to meet me in the street. You're gonna have to meet me in the street, pimp. Let's get that A1 up here, Tunde, because I want us to go through some tweets so we can show solidarity with our comrades, and so you guys can know. If you were listening to By Any Means Necessary, for example, on iHeartRadio or Spreaker, or what was the other one? Fucking Spotify, sons of bitches. They've taken By Any Means Necessary radio down off of those platforms that I just outlined. So this is what the radio account, the show account, tweeted a couple days ago. Without explanation or notice, Spotify has removed By Any Means Necessary from their platform, but we're still going, well, we're not going anywhere. There's a clear effort in motion to suppress anti-imperialist and anti-capitalist voices. So join our fight by spreading the word. Now, they posted an update. I think this was yesterday, and this is where Jackie and Sean posted that they learned that Spreaker, a site that distributed By Any Means Necessary to podcast platforms, ceased publishing Radio Sputnik shows altogether. Now, you can still listen to By Any Means Necessary at sputniknews.com/radio_by_any_means necessary. And also on the Sputnik News app. So we love Jackie. Like, we love Jackie, okay? Like, we love Jackie. And I actually reached out to Jackie yesterday because when I started to see the news about the RT layoffs, and we're going to get to those momentarily, I hit Jackie up like, yo, everything good? We good? Everything good? We good? And Jackie said she was good. But I do not like this, okay? And it doesn't shock me that obviously an outlet like By Any Means Necessary with stated anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist, and of course anti-war views would be targeted like this. But it just kept going, did it not? And I don't even think that I included her on this list. If we could get A3, I'm sorry, today. Molly told me that Abby Martin was also targeted for removal of her program. And also, here we go. So by banning Russia media outlets. This was a good one. By banning Russian media outlets, the EU exposes its discomfort with alternative narratives of the Ukrainian crisis. And that is posted by the peoplesdispatch.org. You guys should actually check that piece out. It just really exposes, number one, that the xenophobia and the Russophobia that is sweeping across Western Europe and apparently sweeping across the United States is reaching a fever pitch. And this has really disastrous consequences, not only for people's immediate short-term livelihood, right? But just the broadcasting and the acceptance of dissenting voices and dissenting perspectives. Like, for example, it's really, really rich for Spotify to take down people's podcasts. And there's Joe Rogan, right? And it's crazy because there was a lot of white leftists, you guys, like rooting for Joe Rogan. Like, no, you can't censor Joe Rogan. You can't censor Joe Rogan. And then here come the censoring of lefty voices. I don't see Joe Rogan taking up for them niggas, but maybe now, let's be fair, I don't watch Joe Rogan. I am not a consumer of the Joe Rogan experience, but I have not been aware of Joe Rogan taking a stance. Hold on, let me go to the chat because y'all might know some shit that I do not. And that's fair because I love for y'all to tell me things. So thank you so much for that. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Dave G is in the house. Dave, come on, appreciate to see you, baby. Appreciate to see you. Yeah. So wait. I'm sorry. I said I was going down the list, didn't I? And I got all distracted. And I've only had 2 J's today, y'all. I'm only half of my 5J usual. So I should not be quite as scattered. Quite as scattered. So let's go to A4 Tunde. So this is posted by journalist and podcaster Lee Camp. In the span of 1 week, my comedy show of 8 years was canceled because of sanctions. My podcast of 12 years was banned by Spotify, and my YouTube is now banned across Europe, all in the name of U.S. imperialism. And Lee posts his Patreon there, patreon.com/Lee Camp, if you want to keep supporting Lee's work. Redacted Tonight was rather good. Let's head on to A5, if you could, Tunde. And this was, and I don't like the response that this tweet has been getting. I didn't like the response that the tweet posted by Any Means Necessary got, because a lot of racists came out to show their whole ass. And not just racists, but for example, under this RT tweet that I'm about to read to you guys, I mean, a bunch of that's what you get, and Putin and this and that. And it's like, do you understand that these are American jobs that RT is given? RT is given journalists, and I know there's been some anecdotal stories about people who have worked at so-called mainstream outlets who were recently laid off by RT as a part of this Russophobia, red panic, red scare that is engulfing the United States again. But RT gives people like, I mean, I worked for Voice of Russia radio before it was Sputnik Radio. And it gave people like me an opportunity, gave people like Jackie an opportunity, because I'm sorry, do y'all think CNN is checking for us? Well, first of all, hold on, because you know goddamn well we ain't checking for CNN. So I'm trying to think of where is a comparable place that I would not be nauseous working at, a mainstream outlet, and that sort of eludes me at the moment. But you understand what I'm saying, right? In order to get, in order to have a career, you know, in journalism, first of all, you have to be able to support yourself. And journalism jobs usually do not pay all that well. Even the coastal jobs in New York, DC, San Francisco, LA, etc. But if you can get one that pays you a living wage relative to certainly the cost of living in your area, and give you editorial freedom, there's not many places doing that, y'all. And, you know, whatever my conflicts may have been upon my exit, I'm gonna be fair and real as shit about my experience for working for Russian media. They never told me what to cover. And in the instances where story suggestions were made, my editor at the time, his name was Rustem. Rustem was a whole fucking G out here. Rustem had covered some shit, and there was footage of Rustem getting shot by a sniper, and he survived. And this was my editor at Voice of Russia, right? So Rustem was like, Kim, we really want you to talk to Angela Davis. Can you talk to Angela Davis? Because you're one of my little Black Panthers. Now, I didn't say the niggas was not inappropriate, okay? Like the Russians had their inappropriate moments, you know. The patriarchy is very real in Russian society. So they weren't perfect. But I will say this. I mean, again, the story suggestions I got was not, hey, why don't you do this puff piece on Vladimir Putin and his philanthropic endeavors. No, it's never no shit like that. And I think part of the reason why Russian media allows people like myself, or allowed people like myself and Jackie to be on the airways, is because, I mean, we're not fans of America. It's really pretty plain. And that is not espousing any sort of Russian propaganda. Sweetheart, I am a Black American. I can let the shit fly from right here. I don't need nobody feeding me no Russian propaganda talking points to talk shit about America. Shit. 43 years of breathing the air on this rotten colony has given me plenty of things to be critical about the United States and capitalism about, with no question. So please, people who are being smeared or maligned as Russian puppets, as Russian bots, I just saying from my experience, and again, Jackie Lukman does not strike me as somebody who is going to be led by the nose and talking favorable things about Russia or Putin. I assure you, she probably has not done those things because I mean, shit. Anyway, but y'all get what I'm saying. So there's that. In addition to Lee, right. So here we go. I'm sorry, I was supposed to be reading this tweet, and I got all distracted. So TNR Productions, which is the company behind the American-based RT offshoot, confirmed the closure in a memo describing the result of unforeseen business interruption events. So this is where they have announced that they have made layoffs. It confirms that it would mean the permanent separation from employment of most TNR employees. I knew people still working at RT America. Their offices were not that far from Metro Center in downtown DC. And I just, my heart goes out to everybody who has lost their job because free speech in America is a fucking farce. That shit does not exist. We do not welcome in the sharing and exchange of all political viewpoints. And we are quick to condemn countries who act like us, right? We have a big issue with Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We have failed to consider or even acknowledge the Russian perspective on this. I mean, Russia's made this shit very clear since 1997. Hey, y'all motherfuckers stay back there. Like, y'all stay over there. And they was like, huh? What? Scoot, right? So it's not like Russia has no perspective in this. And I'm not even saying that I agree with Russia. I'm saying Russia has a point of view, and Russian interests are, if American interests are legitimate in this conflict, if Ukrainian interests are legitimate, then I don't see how the Russian interests are any less legitimate. And let me be clear, American interests are not legitimate in this. This is all empire versus empire, and I'm rooting for both empires to lose. I don't root for emperors, baby. I don't cheer for Caesar. No, I wish death upon Caesar. Caesar must go. Caesars, plural. So sad for the people working at RT America to be laid off. But there's also been like a converse. Well, actually, let's go to A6. So in this sort of censorship purge, goofy shit is happening. Like, mainstream outlets that they didn't mean to suspend is getting suspended, which concerns me about our little platform here. And I'll tell you the little goofy shit that YouTube has done in just a moment. But let me read the tweet from Ryan Grimm, who hosts a show on The Hill. He says he's going to have a story up soon, but it's bananas. We played a Trump clip, and in his ramblings, he referred to a rigged election. So now we're suspended for spreading misinformation. By playing a clip of the president of the United States, they got their channel suspended. And I laugh because it's bad, right? Because if they're suspending, who is that? Ryan Grimm? And is that Kim Iverson over there? Sure. And I know, they not Democrats, but I mean, they suspended them. You feel me? Over something silly like a misunderstanding, then or the playing of a Trump clip and somehow that being flagged as misinformation, broadcasting disinformation. Y'all, a lot of people are in trouble. And a lot more people on the left are in trouble than we think. And it's a shame that that we are going to see the reciprocity happening from Russia as well. If you could pop up, I think this is A7 there, Tunde. Yes. So, pardon me. This journalist reported, as they predicted, in response to censoring RT Sputnik, Russia has now restricted Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty, which is more influential in Russia than its Russian counterparts were in the West. None cut off, nose cut off to spite its face. So Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty are the, I guess, I know US funds Radio Liberty, which is Russian language American propaganda, I guess, that Russia allows to be broadcast, or at least it did up until very recently. And Radio Free Europe is very similar, it's not, I don't believe it's entirely US government financed. I think it's probably a combination of the NATO powers. Anybody who has a working knowledge of how Radio Free Europe works, there's that. So we're seeing people losing their jobs, first and foremost. This is the thing that bothers me as much as the censorship, because this is a very small business. And unless you look a certain way, I think working at RT, or having worked at RT or for Russian media, I don't think it shines on your resume. I don't think it glistens. I don't think it glistens because and especially now, especially now with all the increased xenophobia against Russians, against Russian products. At some point, you guys, this shit is this is long crossed into goofiness to me, right? Because I want you to imagine, I imagine another industrialized nation, outright sanctioning America, right? Everything America, American products. I'm not talking about Iran and North Korea. I'm talking about Japan or France or some place that, America respects. And they just start, no, not to say that America ever respected Russia, but you understand what I'm saying. Someone comparable in economy and potentially militaristic might that would just outright sanction everything from the U.S. It's like, what? China don't even sanction everything from the U.S. Come on. So anyway, I'm very okay, good. We got some Radio Free Europe experts in the chat. I'm glad to see it, guys. So what do we take away from all of this? Well, first of all, I think it's extremely important that if you are consumers of any of the people who have had their content removed from different platforms, try to support them in the ways that you can, even if it's just going directly to a website to stream or their shows. It's about to be a lot more inconvenient to try to listen to some of your podcasters. And I think it's important to the podcasters, to the people that are producing this very important content, that mainstream media does not even bother to acknowledge that there is a political left in the United States who is against all of the nefarious shit that the United States does at home and abroad. We are literally seeing the beginnings of the crushing of dissenting voices again, right? Again. And I'm a little concerned, tiny, not hugely, but tiny, bit concerned that YouTube's about to be back on this bullshit because recently, over the past, let's say week or two, I got 2 emails from YouTube. One of them informing me that they had manually reviewed the content of our channel and have deemed it inappropriate for people under 18, which I found to be an interesting thing to even bother doing, because none of our content is designated for kids. They have a box. When you go to publish a video, is this content suitable for children under the age of whatever? And we say no. It is, but you gotta be cool like LJ. You gotta be cool like Latif's son. You gotta be a cool ass fucking kid. And I know a lot of kids not cool out here. So yeah, no, this shit ain't for kids. It's only for cool ass kids. So generally, no, obviously we say all of our content is not for kids. So I thought that was really strange for YouTube, unprompted, to tell me this, right? And then they sent another email, right? And it was for a specific episode, and I can't recall which episode it was, but they sent another email and they said, "Hey, this content is not age appropriate for children." I'm like, "No shit. Thank you, YouTube, for paying attention at all the wrong times for all the wrong reasons." So I'm wondering, are those sort of like the forays into clamping down our content? And a number of you have reached out and said that y'all think that YouTube is stifling this show, which I don't know. I mean, nothing shocks me these days, but I can't say for certain that YouTube has a specific conspiracy against Burn It Down with Kim Brown and other platforms that broadcast our kind of content. I do not know. But for them to just come out the blue and be like, "Your shit ain't for kids," and we never framed our stuff as being child-friendly content, gives me a lot of pause. Gives me a lot of pause. Speaking of pause, let's take a pause right now because we are in the midst of our Winter Blaze Up fundraiser. A number of you have already come through. Love y'all so much. And listen, everyone who has donated, kicked us some bucks, thank you. Thank you. Because a number of you have run us bucks numerous times. And I am incredibly grateful for that because I love that. And even listen, I know it's a fundraiser and I know y'all want to help, but I also know times is tough, right? So listen, hold on, let me back up. If you want to support the fundraiser, here's how you do it. Go to patreon.com/BIDWKB. We'd like to add some new patrons. We usually have a little bit of drop off at the end of the month or beginning of the month when the patrons get charged, which I think is on the first of the month. And people fall off for a variety of reasons. I'm not going to sit here and browbeat y'all like Kamau Franklin on Black Power. Kamau and be like, "Y'all need to get y'all credit cards together, B." True. No, it's not that serious. I understand. I've had this happen to me many times where a card that I was using for everything, automatic payments, and for whatever reason, the shit got compromised and they turned the card off or the card expired. Anything can happen. So if you are able, and only if you are able, go to patreon.com/BIDWKB and support us on a monthly ongoing basis. You can do so for as little as $2 a month. If you want to max out, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know. We have a very high tier. We've got some tiers. And on the higher tiers, some merchandise will accompany that. So go to patreon.com/BIDWKB and check that out. If you want to support us in other ways, our Cash App is $BIDWKB, Venmo @BIDWKB, PayPal.me/BIDWKB. Y'all, this is Black woman-led independent media. I was thinking about this the other day. I mean, I'm very committed. I'm very committed to Burn It Down with Kim Brown because I just look across the media landscape and I don't see a place for myself. You know what I mean? Like someone had sent me, I think NPR was looking for a host of Code Switch. And I'm like, yes, but no, but no. I'm a little too radical out here for the NPR. I'm very certain of that. So y'all got to help us out. Y'all got to help us grow, push the show as much as you can, circulate it on your social media networks and tell your friend to tell a friend. And when you get your BIDWKB merch, rock that shit, homie. Rock that shit. Let people come up to you, ask you, what is that? What is that? Nigga, that's Burn It Down with Kim Brown. That's the hottest joint on YouTube. You need to go check her out. And I know some of y'all have been out there like that, so I certainly appreciate that. So thank you guys so much as we wrap up our Winter Blaze fundraiser on this day of Friday. 3322 is where we are. So, while acknowledging that what's happening in Ukraine, first of all, I feel for people who are having to flee their homes, people who have already lost their lives, people who have had to say goodbye to their partners at the border because they making every man, between 18 and 60 go fight. And of course, my undying love and empathy goes to our African brothers and sisters who have had a time trying to get out of the war zone, as we talked about on Tuesday's show. But y'all, just keep in mind, man, if whoever the U.S. is backing in any sort of foreign military engagement, whoever the U.S. is backing is who we should be against, right? Because we live in this empire, but we do not support this empire, right? We understand that what America is doing abroad, not just by dropping bombs, but the harm, irreparable harm that America has done to this planet, to our environment, to our own individual health, right? I encourage you guys, like, go to John Oliver's YouTube channel and watch the episode or watch the clip that he did about PFAS, PFAS, the chemical that is now in every single living organism on the planet, including you, including me. Oh, and the compounds in PFAS, they don't break down. They're gonna survive you in your coffin. What did the man call it? He called it devil's piss. It's like, you got to go watch the segment. It's not even a recent segment that he did. I think it was something that he did last season. But again, all of that American in origin, right? So what the United States has done to the planet is unconscionable, it's unforgivable, and it's never something that we, especially as Black folks, can ever point to American military engagements and be like, oh, well, they're doing the right thing there. They're there in defense of democracy, bitch. When? When? This is the problem with America again. We live in such a stupid country. It just drives me crazy. So keep that in mind. Wow. People are, and I know it's difficult because I know people are genuinely trying to do heartfelt things for the Ukrainian refugees. But then they're sort of transposing that with supporting the Ukrainian army. And it's like, no. We support the people that are being harmed. We don't support those who would shoot us if we were to step foot in Kiev, right? In Kiev. So anyway, so watching the fascism abroad, we got fascist shit right here, kids, right here. Let's go with B1, y'all. Not that this was a surprise to me at all, and I know it came as no surprise to everybody else. But in the wake of 2020, the summer of 2020, the uprising, the movements, the marches, the policy demands, 2022 has been a clap back on that ass, has it not, y'all? They are trying to punish us for defund the police. They're trying to punish us for having the audacity to take to the streets and stand up and demand accountability and justice for Black lives, even though we know in this rotten colony, chances are it's not coming. And not to say that this case in Louisville was going to bring Breonna Taylor's family any sort of reprieve or any justice at all. But it is just a reminder from the white power system that Black lives do not matter to white supremacy. Make no mistake. Brett Hankinson, who was one of the officers on scene and one of the two, I believe, charged with wanton endangerment for shooting into neighboring apartments of Breonna Taylor. Brett Hankinson found not guilty of wanton endangerment during the raid that killed Breonna Taylor. So no one, no cop, no Louisville pig will be held accountable, go to jail, pay a fine, nothing for the murder of Breonna Taylor, for murdering this Black woman in her home. Breonna was in her pajamas. She was in her room. She was in her bed. And white cops came in and shot and killed her. And white cops get to walk away for the murder of Breonna Taylor. There's that. Fascism right there. Police get to murder without consequence. And please don't point to the convictions of Derek Chauvin, of Kim Potter, or any of the handful out of probably many thousands of police who have executed people unjustifiably, murdered people unjustifiably. Those little crumbs of so-called justice, Kim Powder's conviction, bleh, booty. Dante Wright's mother's reaction should have told you everything you need to know about the righteousness or the validity of Kim Powder's conviction. And Derek Chauvin, I'm sure Derek Chauvin is the best taken care of prisoner in maximum security, right? Man probably got a TV, probably got a satellite dish, she probably got a fridge, she probably got all kinds of shit. The pig's looking out for him big time. Make no mistake about it. Let's go to B2, Tunde, because this is where the fascism thriving. It may look a little subtle. It may look a little subtle. Some aspects of it look drastically unsubtle. Yes, but I want us to take a listen, because when we talk about accountability for the police, the politicians have made it clear that they intend to hold police accountable by pouring billions of dollars upon them under the mandates, or at least I guess the suggestion of better training, better resources, better training, better resources, accountability. Okay. This is from July, and this is from Arlington County, Virginia, which is right down the street. And the people working on behalf of police reformation for the Arlington County Police Department were really optimistic in July of 2021. Let's take a look at this piece from Channel 9.
We have to ensure that people are being held accountable.
Those people are police officers. And in Arlington County, the future of policing is evolving as the county board approves its first civilian oversight board.
We just recognize that our communities and residents of color have not always felt well served, and we want to take this additional step to build trust.
The new community oversight board will ultimately have independent investigative and subpoena power while working alongside an independent policing auditor, reviewing complaints and recommending and reviewing disciplinary actions, but will have no power to discipline the officers it's overseeing.
As president of the NAACP here in Arlington, I'm not going to chalk it up as a win because one, there's people in our community, in this very diverse community, who voices need to be heard, and I don't think they were heard.
Last night, the county council approved the idea.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Hours after new additions were proposed.
Motion passes 5-0.
And in no way, shape, or form do I believe that this piece of ordinance that we put forth was fully equitable.
We'll tell you, we didn't get everything that advocates wanted.
Arlington County Board Chair Matt DeFerranti says the board tried to compromise with advocates and police officers.
Some officers are going to have concerns, and I am mindful that some will be frustrated with this action. We are aware of the wellness concerns.
Morale and wellness of our citizens has been at stake, and they've been suffering for decades. All right, so the duties of the police officers are protect and serve the citizens, and this is what the citizens want.
So that was in July of 2021, and you heard that the Arlington County Council approved a number of measures to go with this police reformation package, one of which included the hiring of a police auditor. Now, which so the hiring of this police auditor had to be approved by the Virginia General Assembly, and then had to be signed by newly elected Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin. Hey gang, it hit Glenn Youngkin's desk. What do you think Glenn Youngkin did? What do you think Glenn Youngkin spent his first veto on? The first veto. Let's run that next one, Tunde.
Tonight, officials in Arlington County promise police reform will move forward despite Governor Youngkin's veto of a bill allowing the city to hire a police auditor. Officials say it was a linchpin of their reform efforts. News 4's Darcy Spencer talked to critics of the veto who called it a misguided political statement.
Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin's first veto, disappointing Arlington County officials and activists, taking away a key measure in their efforts to promote police accountability. The governor blocked the Arlington County Board's power to hire an independent policing auditor. Right now, that hiring authority rests with the county manager. Arlington Board Chair Katie Crystal.
We think that's a real blow to the system that we have really carefully constructed as a community, but this is too important for us to not move forward.
Youngkin called the legislation anti-police. He said in a statement, the best way to ensure that any bad actors within law enforcement are held accountable is to stand up for law enforcement, not tear them down or subject them to politically motivated inquiries. The independent policing auditor will work with the county's newly created Community Oversight Board and conduct concurrent investigations into police misconduct. The board wants the authority to hire the auditor, but needs General Assembly approval to do so. The governor's statement says the bill would have given one person the authority to, quote, be judge, jury, and executioner on police misconduct matters. But the board chair says that's not the case. Final decisions rest with the police chief.
It's clear from the statement that accompanied the veto that this veto is based on a misunderstanding or misreading of our ordinance, which again does not make anyone judge, jury, and executioner. And we've asked for an opportunity to try to clarify that.
The Arlington chapter of the NAACP was among the groups supporting the legislation.
And it was bipartisan support. So we're still kind of scratching our heads as to what was the rationale. The veto, because we read a statement that it just didn't pass muster.
The board has sent a letter to the governor requesting a meeting with him and his staff. The bill sponsor says he may try to override the governor's veto. Darcy Spencer, News 4.
Now, the Arlington County manager supports the legislation to give the elected county board authority to hire the police auditor. The bill's sponsor says the Arlington County Board is the only local government in Virginia that needs permission from the General Assembly to make hires.
That's interesting within itself, and those are probably one of the many quirks of the Commonwealth that Arlington County needs General Assembly approval to make hires. That's fucking strange, but okay. Hey, shout out to Jonathan Guerrero. Thank you, Jonathan, for your super chat. Jonathan says, all cops are bastards. Chris Dorner knew what was up. Didn't he though, Jonathan? Didn't he though? Who ran us $5, Tunde or Male? I saw someone ran us $5, but it went away before I could acknowledge. Oh, it was Alicia. Oh, thank you, Alicia. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah, so that's cute, isn't it? Any attempts at so-called police reform, veto. What did Glenn Youngkin say? His statement read something to the effect that to root out bad actors or bad apples in the police department, it doesn't involve inquiries, trying to find facts and get a grasp of whatever the situation of misconduct that the officer may have been accused of. No. We have to support our officers. We have to cuddle them like little babies. Like little baby. Oh, little police. Nobody can ask the police questions, huh? They too soft for that, huh? You might hurt their little feelings, huh? It's so wild. Can you imagine, like, what other fucking job, especially in the public sector, like, where is it that you just get to say no to review, right? It's so dangerous. Let me say this also. The Arlington County Police Association was vehemently against all of the proposals of the reforms that the county council was trying to propose, because again, I don't understand why police, well, I do understand, let me rephrase, but it's interesting that they are so against accountability, like any sort of accountability. And it's like, well, if you guys are on the up and up on your job like you're supposed to, you're not violating people's civil and constitutional rights, you're not out here racial profiling, you're not out here being abusive to boot, you don't have anything to worry about. Right? If you didn't do nothing wrong, baby, then why are you scared? Thank you so much, Louis Kang. Louis Kang ran us some bucks. Lou says, Tennessee wants to expand the definition of law enforcement officer. Kill me, Lou Kang, Jesus. To include civilians who hold enhanced handgun carry permits earned by taking an 8-hour handgun safety course and paying $100. Baby, what is this? The deputization of fucking local yokels? This is scary. And we talked about something kind of similar on the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media the other day. I think Kalanji was talking about the proposed amendment to the Georgia State Constitution that, you know, you don't need a permit to carry. You just show up. You can just appear and someone will magically give you a gun and you just walk out the door and there's no accountability of that kind of thing. So no, this is bad. I don't like that, Liu Kang, especially I saw the story that you had sent me, Liu Kang, about in Louisiana, their version of an anti-riot bill, something that thankfully got struck down in Florida, but Louisiana has a bill pending that would allow people to use deadly force against those who were being destructive of property, and not even like someone destroying your own property. Louisiana wants to make it so that you can shoot and kill somebody if you see them destroying any property. Like, what? Dog, this is, I feel like I keep saying that this is bad and this is going to get bad, but I think we're already at the bad place. And I apologize if you come here looking for vibes and shit. I have no vibes. I have no vibes to deliver you. I am deeply sorry. And maybe one day we will do a vibe show, but shit. The shit is just looking too real out here, y'all. I mean, they're authorizing laws for basically people like us, people who stand up, who oppose, who dissent, who commit acts of civil disobedience. They want to authorize and deputize basically handgun owning white men to act as judge, jury, and executioner on people committing acts that they don't approve of. This is we going back to Reconstruction, show. I was going to say they're going to start asking for papers, please. But again, that's already been a thing because I've told y'all were random white people whom I did not know wanted to know why I was at a certain place. Minding my fucking business. What's it to you? I hate it here. Hey, this is a good opportunity for me to reach out to all of our foreign listeners, all of our foreign viewers. If you're looking for a not quite dried up, still got a little moisturizer over here. If you're looking for a middle-aged wife who will produce you absolutely zero children, I might know somebody, but this somebody I know is looking to exit the country. And the caveat is you cannot be abusive. So, just drop us a line if you happen to know somebody who fits that bill. Roque, thank you so much for your super chat. Love, sweetie. We appreciate that. This final story that I have to bring you, who sent this to me? I think it was Infinite Content. And again, guys, in America, the police kill children. Oh, no. Actually, before we get to that one, let's hear from Joe Biden. Actually, let's go to B4 Tunde, because as you saw, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin just vetoed, because he felt like it, any sort of attempts at police reform, which we all know are minimal and window dressing at best. They're not meaningful or addressing systemic issues, but I guess is people trying to do something to make any sort of small improvement, and Glenn Youngkin vetoed it. And just to give you just a reminder, like how lockstep Republicans and Democrats are when it comes to making sure that the American police state remains funded to the teeth and resourced to the teeth and held accountable by absolutely no one. Here is Joe Biden, y'all's boy. Y'all know Joe Biden is y'all's boy. Y'all's boy Joe Biden at this week's State of the Union address.
We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them. Fund them with resources and training. Resources and training they need to protect our communities. I ask Democrats and Republicans alike to pass my budget and keep our neighborhoods safe.
American police, I believe, get $108 billion annual funding. I believe, if Twitter is to be believed, that is more than the military expenditures of Ukraine. Right? America's police is better funded than most countries' actual armies. And Joe Biden wants to give them more money, more resources, more training. Glenn Youngkin says you can't hold police accountable by some political inquisition. They need more resources, more training, more support. What the fuck do we need? We need to understand that we will never feel safe and or be safe while we are basically in the throes of an occupying army, especially those of us who still live in Black places, right? Shout out to Infinite Content. Thank you so much for that, Infinite Content. And I'm about to get to that story, Infinite Content. And I say because at how heartbreaking it is, darling. But I do appreciate you bringing it to me, so thank you. Y'all, Joe Biden, the fascists together, united. And the fascism continues, please. Like, you need to be pointing this out to people in your circles because, you know, it was pointed out, I think, recently, you know, that what we do here at Burn It Down and Last Dope Intellectual and Luke Mon Nation and Black Power Media, and I mix what I like. I mean, we are crew, we are community, but we are small in numbers, right? Like, not everybody has got to where we are, at least in the understanding of the urgency to dismantle colonialism because of the ways that it is destructive into our daily lives. And Joe Biden and Glenn Youngkin and Ron DeSantis and all of them. I think it was Stuart Barbie, one of our viewers. Stuart said in a comment under a video about the fascism that the fascism is not a personality-driven thing. It is an agreed upon way of governing. Whether or not they acknowledge it that way, which we know they won't, because the farcical, we live in the most amazing democracy ever, where people get denied the right to vote and get thrown in jail for attempting to vote, and people were murdered for trying to vote. But our democracy is the best, though. Yeah, baby. Don't you forget that. But make no mistake, y'all, we are under siege. We are absolutely under siege. We are under siege by Republicans. We are under siege by Democrats. We are under siege by capitalism. So we need to take steps to either fight the powers that be, or we got to get in the guillotine making business. Infinite Content, run me some bucks. He said, Kim, the cops involved in shooting Fanta Billy after a football game last summer in the Philly burbs, I think it was in Sharon Hill, are going to trial. The cops ain't shit. Was it 4 police officers in the murder of this baby, in the murder of this child? I think it's the last one on the dock there today. We're gonna peace out after this, gang, because we got a hard out at 6. But make no mistake, like, don't point to Russia and say, well, communism. Americans are so fucking stupid. You know, we live in the dumbest country on earth when 30 years after USSR fails, so many goofballs in our community really believe that Russia's a communist country. It's so goddamn stupid. But anyway, but don't point the finger at Russia. Talk about communism, talk about fascism, talk about any of that, because the fascism is alive and well right here. Here in the United States, police murder children, and it is not a rare occurrence. And in addition to this child, this little baby, Fanta Billy, being shot and killed by police, now 3 of those officers have been charged, which is good, I guess. I don't even know what to even say about police being charged, because again, it's too few who get any sort of criminal accountability. Also, the excuse is going to be that Sharon Hill Police Department needs more money for training and resources, because clearly shooting into moving cars is something that police, despite being trained not to do that, still continue to do that. And a number of other things that police do routinely to try to so-called catch criminals or catch people that they suspect to being criminals. They do that at the risk of public safety often. So please, y'all, America is not the land of the free. It is not the home of free speech. It is not the home of democracy. It is not a place where Black children are safe to just literally exist. No, it isn't. And I say this because I hope that y'all go back and tell the others. Please tell the others, because we need to be bigger here on our side of the political spectrum. And I think that the conditions are absolutely right for people to understand that, number one, we need to disavow ourselves of this economic system of capitalism. We are coming through a pandemic. The pandemic is not over. But people are experiencing mass illness and mass disability in a country that does not have universal health care. So these are things that are going to be coming down the pike, some of them in the short term, some of them in the long term. We're dealing with short-term economic pinches right now. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm grateful for anything that you guys are able to send us for our fundraiser, because I get it, baby. I went to Safeway and I was aghast at the prices of shit that I was used to paying what I thought was reasonable prices for. Things have become suddenly unreasonable. The latest news story before I came and sat down and did the show, Channel 4 in DC, was talking about how gas prices are at their highest level since Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Shit is rough out here, and I get it. And I want to say I appreciate y'all supporting us. But keep tuning in over here so we can kind of commiserate together. Because, you know, I just sit around and talk shit and be like, fuck them, fuck them. And I love that y'all are cool with that's the extent of my political analysis. Fuck all them niggas, and fuck all them niggas. The end. But please keep rocking with Lookman Nation tonight. Rock with Last Dope Intellectual tonight. BPM every day. Shout out to Warrior Class with Brother Balagoon Saturday mornings. Y'all, I think we're in the right space. And I think that so long as we continue to grow this space and these spaces and increase the people coming over and at least allowing them to hear an alternative, because I know a lot of people think that they are politically engaged because they sit around and watch MSNBC for 12 hours a day. But no, we need to advance that ball further down the field and further to the left and away from all that centrist mainstream nonsense. And that's why it's very important that you try to support the podcasters and the broadcasters and the journalists who have been experiencing censorship by American corporate media. So there is that. So guys, that's going to be our show. I'm so grateful and appreciative that you guys were here and spent any time with your homie at all. Courtney, thank you so much for holding down the chat. Quaker Anarchist, thank you so much. Dawn, Afraid Not, Latif, Infinite Content, I love you. Well, thank you, Infinite Content. Hey, Infinite Content, what the fuck? I mean, what else is it, Infinite Content? What else is it? What else is it? I let our PhD brothers and sisters give y'all the wordy analysis. I just give it to you straight. Just give it to you shorthand. Louis Kang, love you. Alicia, love you. Anna Hart, love you. Michelita, Esther, thank you guys so much. Pokey Wood, Nandi, aka Obi. You guys are the greatest, and I appreciate y'all so much. So we'll see y'all back here on the channel on Tuesday. Hey guys, don't forget, COVID is still out here jumping on people. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this. So please continue to wear your masks indoors, if at all possible. Wash your hands, social distance. I don't know what the fuck, but the shit ain't over. I don't give a fuck what the news say. So don't want COVID to jump on you, because I love you. And on behalf of me, Tunde, and Molly, we will see you guys back here on Tuesday. See y'all later.